Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the July 26, 2011 Town of Wareham Board of Selectmen Sewer Commission meeting. I have the roll call, please.
Mr. Chairman, all five selectmen are present, as is the town administrator, Mr. Andrews.
Okay, on the announcements, we're going to skip that. We're going to go right into proclamation. We have two proclamations due, and we'll do the 7:15 hearing after that. Mr. Chair? Excuse me, Mr. Chair, wait up.
Do we have the family?
One minute. I got to make an announcement. My normal announcement. I am requesting that all cell phones and electronic devices be turned off or in a mute position as not to disturb the meeting. Any member of the public also has a right to make an audio or video recording of an open session of a public meeting. A member of the public who wishes to record a meeting must first notify the chair and must comply with reasonable requirements regarding audio or video equipment established by the chair so as not to interfere with the meeting. The chair is required to inform other attendees of such recording at the beginning of the meeting. And today we have the standard time that is recording the meeting. Thank you. Now, clerk, it's all yours.
So you did have an announcement. If we could have the family of Haley come forward. Someone is here. Right? Come on. Yeah, come right over here. Come right over here. There you go. Mr. Chairman, would you go around and present this? Mr. Andrews. Mike, go ahead. Kara. Mrs. Begley, go ahead. I'll read this so that y'all can... Yeah, just come around. Yeah, just back up that way so the people can see it. Back up towards Kara. That way. There you go. Yeah, this thing's in the way. That's okay. Get everybody all together. Yeah, just slide down a little bit more so Mrs. Begley can get around there. Let's get that thing out of the way. We have a proclamation. As you recall, a couple of weeks ago we made an announcement for a fundraiser. And we have a proclamation. The young lady is not here. She is not feeling well. And it reads, whereas Haley Pease is a Wareham resident loved by her family and friends. Whereas Haley Pease has been battling leukemia at Children's Hospital since April of 2011. Whereas Haley Pease has been courageous in her battle, and her valor is a guiding light for other children facing similar fights. Whereas her bravery is recognized by fellow patients, medical staff, and her doctors as truly a mountain of courage. Whereas her faith and courage will always be an inspiration to many. In witness thereof, we, the Wareham Board of Selectmen, have hereunto set our hands and caused the official seal of the town of Wareham to be affixed this 26th day of July 2011, and it's signed by all of the members of the board: Walter B. Cruz, Chairman, Stephen Holmes, Clerk, Carol Winslow, Ellen Begley, and Michael Schneider. Mr. Pyers? Mr. Pyers? Is Mr. Vasco Pyers here? the hallway? Walter, you want to double check, please? We have a second proclamation tonight, and it reads, and if you see Miss Tiny, is he here? Tiny? Is he here? Mr. Pius? Okay. Whereas Vasco R.A. Pius was the first of his family to attend and graduate from college and has been an inspiration to his family and friends. Whereas Vasco R.A. Pius was an instrumental part of a committee of educators working on curriculum for the Smithsonian Institute's Cape Verdean Festival in Washington, D.C. Whereas Vasco R.A. Pius assisted the Cabo Verde Children, Inc., a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing services for children to stay in school in Cape Verde. Whereas Vasco R.A. Pius, a noted and distinguished visual artist, has presented throughout the South Coast, New England region, as well as internationally. Whereas Vasco R.A. Pius recently presented a multimedia show titled Discovering Our Roots on July 16, 2011, at the Spinney Memorial Library. Whereas Vasco R.A. Pius has contributed to the town of Wareham by his continued active support of the Oak Grove Cape Verdean Cultural Center. Whereas Vasco R.A. Pius has developed a superb educational program to support the Cape Verde culture through the presentation of his art, literature, and multimedia presentations. Whereas Vasco R.A. Pius has promoted respect of culture and positive life experiences that transcend cultural differences and that support humanity. And whereas Vasco R.A. Pius has made a difference in thousands of lives and is truly an ambassador for humanity, in witness therefore, we, the Board of Selectmen, have hereunto set our hands and caused the official seal of the town of Wareham to be affixed this 26th day of July 2011, signed by Walter B. Cruz, Chairman, Stephen M. Holmes, Clerk, Kara A. Winslow, Ellen M. Begley, and J. Michael Schneider. Could have a round of applause for Mr. Pyers. He's not here.
And at this time, we'll have Mr. Lopes present it.
We have a hearing, right?
We have a hearing. It was scheduled for 7:15. We will now go into the hearing. May I have a motion to open the...
Motion to open a public hearing.
Motion made.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0-0.
We have an application for a transfer of an existing year-round packaged goods store. Participants here? Are they out in the hallway? Yeah. You're here? This is for Wines and More? Yes, please. Yeah. Come right up front, please. You have some sort of presentation you're going to make, sir? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Oh, you might want to put it up on that board there. You can use that easel. That's fine. Yeah.
Might be easier.
Mrs. Winslow, do you need, Mr. Schneider, can you see that? Do we need to move that for you?
I think
Mrs. Winslow, can you see it?
As long as we snuggle. That's good.
Okay, if you would introduce yourself and your team.
And I'm here on behalf of the application for a transfer of the liquor license. You should all have the application package. There's also a letter that was submitted by the owners of the developers of the Wareham Crossing Mall. Be easier if I sit?
Yes.
Okay. How's that? Okay.
You've been here before. You know how to get close to that mic.
Yes, I do. We have in front of you this is first I should explain that this is a franchise situation. There's a franchisor, and that's Wines and Spirits Retail Consultants. They're here and represented by John Haronian. The franchisee, ACAP Inc., is going to be doing business in town as Wines and More Wareham, and that's Mr. John Caprio, who is the person that's here and willing to invest $1.5 million to operate this business and own no real estate. In my mind, quite an investment in the town of Wareham and in this shopping mall. I also have here the manager of the new store, Thorpe Dorian, who will be moving from a current, what's called a Douglas store, over to the Wines and More store, which is sort of the fleet, or I should say the top of the fleet of the stores being offered by Wines and Spirits Retail Consultants. Mr. Haronian has prepared a bit of a presentation for you in regards to how this operates, what will take place at the store, what it will look like, and some of the history of Wines and More and what it offers. I think you'll find that it's a very professional operation. It employs a number of people. It's probably one of the largest liquor stores that you'll find in southeastern Massachusetts, and it's looking to take over an empty building, which is the Borders bookstore. Mr. Haronian?
Yes.
Thank you.
And if you wouldn't mind, Mr. Harmon, before you start, if you'd identify yourself into the microphone, please.
My name is John Haronian, the president of Wine Spirit Retail Consulting Company.
I'm sorry I called you Mr. Harmon. I thought he said your name was Mr. Harmon.
Haronian. Yeah, come on up.
I'm sorry. I prepared a presentation to, if the license is granted. Okay. If the license is granted, this is the former borders that we'd like to get the approval on. One Spirit retailer consultants is a franchise consulting company. We have 3 brands that we franchise. Douglas, what we call a Douglas Wine and Spirits. They're usually in a strip center, about 8 to 12,000 square feet, mostly in major highways or major thoroughfares. Then we have the People's Liquor Warehouse. Those are more regional, approximately 15 to 18,000 square feet. It's a type of store that would go next to a BJ's or in a big box location. And then, of course, the premier of our franchising is Wine and Spirit, Wines and More. Those are for power centers, like the center here in Wareham. They're usually approximately 25,000 square feet. As you can see, we have one in that we're proposing in Shrewsbury. We have one in Wareham, and we have one in Rhode Island. The philosophy of Wines and More is service, selection, and education. We employ, and this is the low end, 15 to 25 people. A store like Wareham, which is 25,000 square feet, that number would probably grow. It's professionally managed by a manager, well-trained, previous experience. We have a fine wine manager there who is educated in fine wines and the knowledge of wines. And, of course, we have a craft beer manager. If the license is approved, the first thing that the manager would do is have a job fair right at the location so that we can attract local individuals to our company. We have constant training, and the new employees will be trained and tip certified before the store is opened. The company has a no tolerance policy, which means that if you serve an underage or if you serve someone who's intoxicated, they're fired immediately, and doesn't matter what position you have in the company. Those are the kind of standards that Wine and Spirit Retail Consultants places on our franchisees. The wine selection, there's over 3,000 different types of wines from every region that you can imagine. Prices can range anywhere from $5 to $5,000. We're competitive in price, but we also carry the largest selection that you'll see. To run that department, we have hired, if the location is approved. An example of a wine manager is Brian Cardoza, who's a graduate of Bridgewater State College and Boston University. He has extensive experience and was highly recommended to our company by Alex Murphy, who's the person that's running that at Providence, at Boston University, or Boston College. The craft beers, as you can see by the picture, we have over 1,400 different brands, and that's where this industry happens to be going right now with craft beers. The selections from all over the world. Spirits, you name it. From the lowest end to the highest end, you'll find an excellent selection there. I'd like to take a minute and talk about education. We try to educate or have some means of showing some of the terms that are used in the wine and in this industry that are familiar to some people, and some people don't know what they really mean. And as you go through the store, you'll find that there's always these tags along the way. We have an ongoing training program where staff is trained, and of course, one thing that we're really proud of is Wines and More Academy. This is a large room that's set aside where we have people coming in for seminars to the public to educate them in the wines, craft beers, and spirits. And like I said, there's plaques throughout the store so that someone is always, or you're able to view something about this industry. This is the former borders, and as you can see, we've already started to lay out the store. In the upper right, or in the back of the store, is the academy. This store, we've learned from the other stores that we are involved in, that academy always seems to be too small for the amount of people that we've been attracting. So in this store here, you'll have a larger academy. On the right-hand side are the fine wines. As you come in the store, you'll find a case that has a real high-end selection of imported wines that are available. And as you go through the store, there's all kinds of the labeling and departmentalized so that you know what you're looking at. The center of the store is the circle of Ireland, where the wine manager will be stationed to answer any questions, and he has the computer there. If he doesn't know the answer, he'll find it for you. On the left-hand side, we have what we call a beer cave, where a person that wants to buy a 30-pack and service himself, he can go right in, doors open automatically, he enters, picks up his 30-pack and brings it to the front of the store. For those that don't want to go in there, just go to the front of the store, ask the cashier, and she'll have someone retrieve it for you, so you don't even have to move from the front of the store. On the left-hand side is the walk-in cooler that has all your different selection of six-pack and that type of selection. On the lower left here is the craft beers, where you'll find anywhere, like I said, between 1,400 and above in selection. Now, what do? We monitor the franchisee to make sure that he's in compliance. We have a staff, senior vice president of operation, who's responsible for all the policies and procedures and the training of the individual staff, and an area supervisor. They're usually in the store at least once a week to make sure they're in compliance, and the object is to try to solve the problems before they begin. We're proud of what we represent, and we'd like to be part of the the community. Any questions?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Cruz. I don't have any questions, but I just want to say that this is a great addition to the Wareham Crossing Plaza, and I'm really happy to see that the Borders store will be filled sooner rather than later. We have so many empty storefronts and abandoned buildings in our community. I think a lot of us were fearful that that would be a tough space for someone to work in, so I'm glad to see that it works
Thanks.
for someone.
Thank you. We're proud to be here, and I think you'll be proud of us.
I'm
because
gonna like the
We
store.
do get involved. That's one of the things that I didn't mention. We do get involved with the community. We get involved with the food bank. We allow them to use the academy for meetings. We provide the wine for wine tastings. We're constantly involved. What we don't get involved with is anything where children is concerned, because we just don't want the name associated with children. But we do adult organizations. They're collecting. That's fine. We'll get involved.
That's great to hear, because we've had a couple local organizations recently that have been interested in wine tasting types of events. So
Oh, we get involved with those. And
that's good.
We pull it all together. We provide the wine for them. We provide the people to stand behind the desk and explain to them what they're drinking, and of course, they've all been tip certified. So making sure that no one goes beyond their need.
Great. Well, thank you.
Thank
Thank you for coming to Wareham.
Snyder?
I don't really have any questions either. I just like to say that this policy package that you presented to us is very impressive, and
Thank
it's
you.
much appreciated.
That's the one thing that each of the employees receive when we hire them. And if you go through it, you can see that they're signing a paper after they read it to understand it's their responsibility. And a manager in the store cannot override someone who's been refused by a cashier or an assistant manager. We don't allow it. If you refuse for some reason, as far as we are concerned, you're refused. And we card everyone except senior citizens. So we're tired of fighting with the senior citizens.
Mr. Holmes?
Thank you very much for that presentation. My question surrounds Cape Way. Where is Cape Way exactly? That's on Cranberry Highway?
That's
The
on
old-
Route 6.
The place
Just
we're
before you get
transferring the
to the bridge.
license from.
That's right.
And do you plan on taking all that stock that Mr. Jeffrey has there?
Yes, we're purchasing that, the inventory.
What happens to the building? Any idea?
I'm sorry?
The building.
Uh,
Oh, he doesn't own the building? Okay. No, I think it's great, and look forward to working with you in Wareham. I think it's great.
Thank you.
Mrs. Bagley?
Hi. I just wanted to kind of elaborate with what Selectman Schneider said. There's policies in this packet that employees sign and date. There's policies on terminating service or refusing to terminate alcohol service, policy on sale of tobacco, policy on checking IDs, and policy on alcohol server training. So if anyone violates, and there's a number of points made on each policy, and if anything's violated, it's spelled out that termination would ensue. So I appreciate having those kind of boundaries that you kind of took all of our thunder of the questions that we usually ask. You took the thunder away.
I think you have to realize this is not sort of a mom-and-pop type venture. This is a very elaborate, professional setup of a liquor store, the size of which Wareham has not seen, or a lot of other communities. But there are 3 in existence, or 2 operating right now. One has just got approved, and it's proving to be very successful. people are interested in knowing about wines and what goes with what and what different beers are really available. And they've come to the academies. We never anticipated they would come in the numbers that they are showing, and that's been proven out. So it right now is appearing to be a successful formula, which I'm sure is why Mr. Caprio is willing to make the type of investment he is and make it here. Wareham Crossing is has great potential, and I think this store is only going to help it get better than what it is right now. It's certainly not going to deter, and you'll find that the people that are working in the store are trained. They adhere to a dress code. You're not going to find anybody waiting on you in dungarees and a T-shirt. That won't be permitted in a store like this. And because of its size and because of the franchisor, it has to maintain certain standards to stay in compliance. That's different than what you're used to in any liquor store that you've been in before.
Thank you very much. And since this is a public hearing, do we have any pros and cons from the audience? Someone must be interested in this, or someone must. You can speak right into this mic right here in front of this young fella.
Thank you. Nancy Cedar Home, Charles Street, Wareham. Good evening.
Good evening.
I do work for one of the local mom and pop liquor stores as a part-time job, and I'm curious to ask, what is that going to do to the several liquor stores that are mom and pop in town? Is it going to be that you're going to just overtake them like Target did away with some of the drugstores? That's what's concerning me. And you say, I believe you said 25 people would be in this, or even more. What's going to happen to all the staff that work in these liquor stores if you put this into the crossing and they go under? Where are those people going to go? And are you going to be, my other question is, how many people from the community of Wareham are you going to have as help? Those are my questions.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
First of all, we have 22 locations when you count the Douglases and Peoples and so on. We have never put anyone out of business. We draw from a larger crowd than just the local, so that our business is predicated on the advertising that we do. So in all the years that I've been doing it, and I've been doing it for quite a while, we have never put anyone out of business. What happens is that usually competitors have to raise their standards and to meet ours. As an example, they have to clean up their stores and be a little bit competitive because they're exposed to the same type of deals that we're exposed to. As far as the number of people, we're very selective who we hire. We'll have that job fair, but the training is most important to us. And if they can meet those standards, we welcome them.
Appreciate it very much. Are there any other questions from the public? If not, Mr. Andrews.
Motion
Mr.
to
Cruz?
close the hearing.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Andrews, please.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, just for the record, I've worked with Attorney Bello on this. We talked about this, and the town has taken a proactive approach as soon as we had learned that Borders was going out of business, not only in Wareham, but pretty much nationwide. And I want to compliment Steve Holmes for working with me to seek out various types of business ventures like this. I spoke with Lou Marciello, who's the Vice President for Development at Wareham Crossing. They are very excited about having you there, and I hope that it would complement the other businesses that are in town, because you are providing, through the Academy, correct me if I'm wrong, some very valuable information about the types of tastings and different types of items that you would sell, and that would go a long ways in helping everyone understand what's out there and what they can purchase across the board. So I just want to thank the attorney and the team for doing fine work on this. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. And I want to thank you for choosing Wareham and just making our vision come closer to what we're inspiring for the town of Wareham.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Clerk.
Motion to close the hearing.
Mr. Chair, I had a follow-up question to Ms. Cedarholm's concerns, which are very valid. Will you be giving preference to local Wareham residents in your hiring process?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Definitely, because we prefer to hire from the community. They're our best allies.
Well, they're invested in the community.
And that's why the job fair takes place here rather than somewhere else. It will take place at the premises or around the premises, so that hopefully we'll be drawing people from Wareham. It's their locale, and all things being equal, Wareham residents would be given the job over somebody else. But that doesn't mean that we would hire somebody of lesser caliber simply because they were from one town or another town.
No, and that wouldn't be my expectation. And also, I appreciate the answer that you gave to the concerned citizen, but I think what I'm hearing from the folks at the table is that this is a different type of store, in that you're not necessarily going to drive 20 or 30 minutes to pick up a case of beer that you can buy right down the street from your house. Am I correct? The attraction to this store is more the academy or the wine manager, somebody who you're having a dinner party and you want to know what's going to go best with what you're serving. I just want to make sure that that's
correct.
That I am understanding this correctly, because we do want to make sure that our citizens and the jobs that they hold are protected.
Well,
It doesn't make much sense to create jobs only to lose them on the other end.
No, you're absolutely right. For a six-pack or a case of beer, or that they go to their local. But if someone's running a party and interested in picking up some certain types of wine and they don't know what to buy, this is the place. Or craft, if you're into craft beers, and a lot of people are, well, the selection will draw you. It's not for the regular six-pack drinker.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to close the hearing.
One more time. Motion made and second. Close the hearing.
Mr. Chair, I think that the concerned citizen had.
Can I just follow up on what he just said? May I?
Go ahead.
Go right ahead.
Or actually, I'm answering your question. I just want to let you know we do have this already. We do at our store do wine tastings. We do beer tastings. And you can check our record. I don't own the store or anything like that. I'm just saying it. I work there part-time. But we do get training. We also, if you look into our record, I don't believe that we have ever had any kind of call that we had to come before the selectmen on our licenses. And we do, if you look in the newspaper, our store does do tastings, both beer, wine, alcohol tastings, very, very frequently, almost weekly. So it is available already in the town.
Right.
I'm sorry.
It's very nice. Good.
We'll go one more time if there aren't any other questions.
I'd like to say something. I'm Mark Pepin, owner of Pepin's Liquors, West Wareham. I have the first license in town, the second license after Prohibition, and I don't mind these gentlemen coming to town. Why don't they stay on their side of town where the license is? There's not room on this side of town for. I do the same thing these guys do. I put $750,000 into my business, and it's already, I can look at you and see it's already stamped, rubber stamped. You know, I was going to say a lot more than this, but I already know how this is going.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks very much, because I live right down the street from your place, and you've done a wonderful job with the improvements that you made. There aren't any more, Mr. Clerk?
We have a vote to close the public hearing. We had a motion and a second, but no vote.
Motion made in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 500 to close the meeting.
I'd make a motion to approve the application for transfer of an existing year-round retail packaged goods store all beverages license and a change of location from ACAP Inc., doing business as Wines and More, Thorpe J. Dora, manager, 2421 Cranberry Highway, Suite 460, Wareham, Massachusetts, under the provisions of Chapter 138 of the Massachusetts General Law.
Motion made.
Second.
Second by Kara. There are any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 500.
We could return back now. That would take care of that. Mr. Chairman, do you want to finish these permits, or you want to go back
No,
to
we're gonna go right-
announcements? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just checking. I forget this thing's on. Everybody complains it's on. I was just trying to ask them a question. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We look forward to working with you.
I look forward to working with you all, too.
Okay. With that public hearing closed, we'll move back up the agenda to announcements. I got. The first announcement deals with brush. It was a directive that came out earlier this week that municipal maintenance
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Announcements.
would no longer be accepting brush at the maintenance yard, and all brush had to be taken to County Road Recycling in West Wareham. However, Mr. Andrews, through a little bit of prodding, has run this by the DEP again, and the issue was the size of the brush pile. So we will get rid of the brush, and municipal maintenance will resume taking brush on Monday, August 15th, 2011. All set. We just did it. Okay, the Town of Wareham, Council on Aging and Social Services. To the friends of Elvis out there, he lives, at least for one day. The Council on Aging in Wareham is having not only an Elvis sighting, but an Elvis visit. Well, an Elvis in the form of Vic Solo, see poster enclosed. We extend an invitation to you and your group friends to attend. He'll be in the house at the Multi-Service Center, which is this building, on August 31st at 1 p.m. The 1-hour program is free, but if you would like to participate in the before matinee lunch, you will need to call our nutritionist, Cheryl, at extension 6514, in order to reserve lunch at least 2 days in advance. Lunch details are available on the poster. A $2.50 donation is suggested for lunch, but it will secure you a choice seat for Elvis's first visit to Wareham ever. So come on down. Summer is a time for lighthearted fun. Do something you ordinarily wouldn't do. Dig out your darker sunglasses and improvise some outfit you think might have made the grade back in his time of glory over the airwaves. Or something you have stored away in your closet, archived since the 60s. Blue suede shoes, anyone? Let your hair down and recapture your youth. Throw caution to the wind for just one afternoon. Look forward to seeing you all, so come on down. And again, that's on August 31st, 1 p.m. If you want to eat, you need to make a reservation for your lunch 2 days in advance by calling Cheryl, 6514, and there is a $2.50 suggestion for your lunch. As you know, we had young Haley's family here. This is real small print, but on Wednesday, August the 3rd, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., they will be having a donation collection of platelets at the Rainham Center. And again, that's on Route 44 in Rainham. It's on August the 3rd from 12 to 3 p.m. If you need, there's a phone number here. It was on the internet. It's 508-977-0201. If you're interested, you can contact our office through Mr. Andrews, and he'll be happy to make sure that you get that phone number. The Gleason YMCA is sponsoring a bake sale for young Kaylee. And this is on Friday, which is this Friday, June 29th, from 4 to 6 p.m., July 29th, thank you, Walter, from 4 to 6 p.m., and Saturday, July 30th, and the print went to a quarter,
Sorry.
from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So please visit the Y on Friday from 4 to 6 and Saturday from 10 till, excuse me one moment. Is this
It's my printer.
And on Saturday from 10 to 1, I correct that. It looks like a 4, but it's 10 to 1, and they'll be having this bake sale at the Y. That's all set. This is all set. Is there anything I've missed, fellow members of the board? Oh, here we go. On August the 2nd, next Tuesday night, from 6 to 9 p.m., Lopes Field in Wareham, we're having the National Night Out. At 5:45, the event kicks off with a first responder vehicle parade. 6:15, they'll be awarding the Stephen J. Brown Courageous Youth presentation. At 6:30, and you don't want to miss this, the Wareham Police K-9 unit will be putting on a demonstration. And my favorite to watch is at 7 p.m. when our fire district demonstrates the jaws of life and they rip vehicle apart. So that's really cool to watch that. I like that. So again, that's Tuesday night, beginning at 5:45, and this is going to begin from the Onset Pier this year. There'll be like a little parade of vehicles and people. The Onset Pier, 5:45. We'll walk up to Lopes Field, and there'll be food and there'll be entertainment. There's a bunch of people, and I will, after seeing the gentleman earlier, Wareham Target is a big sponsor. The Elks, Perfect Party Rentals, the Community Police Partnership, Jack Conway Realty. There's a lot of people who donate. Many of our businesses in town. So again, that's Tuesday night. And as always, on Wednesday night, tomorrow night, there'll be the Summer of Love continuing program at the Onset Band Shell. Thursday night, we have the movie night. And every Thursday night till the end of the summer. Is there anything else?
I believe there's a car show Saturday, and along with is it the Blues Festival? There's a lot going on this weekend, so if you check the local news websites, there's quite a bit of activity for the weekend. So if you're looking for something to do.
There we go. Okay, that's it for the announcements, Mr. Chair.
That's it for the announcements. We'll go into citizen participation. And on that, we have any citizen participation? Raise your hand. Okay. Right, you're first. And we're going to try to limit all citizen participation to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Bill Heaney from the Westfield Committee, and I'll be less than 3 minutes, I promise. I'm here because, on behalf of the committee, because the process of getting the bids out and so forth has gone beyond what the selectmen thought when we were appointed back in, I believe, February, and certainly longer than we thought. And I'd just like to remind the selectmen that our terms are up next week.
Time out, Bill. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we extend all members of the Westfield Study Committee through October 31st, 2011.
Second.
Motion made and second to extend to, what was that date again?
October 31st, 2011.
October 31st, 11.
Why that date, Mr. Chair? I'm just,
I don't know, it's
Just-
another 90 days.
Right.
3 months, another quarter.
Motion made and
Works.
second. Any questions?
just
All in
that
favor?
question.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 500. Mr. Haney, you're back on.
Mr. Chairman, if you don't charge me for his time,
No, you-
I'm done in half the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Heaney.
Mr. Smith?
If I may pass this out for you guys.
Hi, Dave. Well, thanks. How are you?
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
The Friends of the Elderly, if you've noticed from the letter that it says, we have noticed that at times that some of the seniors who come into the COA area during open hours are in need of a scooter at times. One of the fine residents who wished to be unnamed donated a scooter to us with a bad battery. Friends of the Wareham Elderly are presenting to the COA a Sonic Mini scooter for the use of any senior in need who comes to the multi-center building, with a brand new battery included, for the purpose just to make the just like the market supervisor or the supermarket, and is available for any reason. And with this, I'll turn it over to Larry here, who can explain more or answer any of your questions.
I've already presented Susan Green with the book. She has a recharge on this, and I just wanted to make it official. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Larry Gaines, Friends of Wareham Elderly. Unfortunately, Yvonne Stone couldn't make it. She had a death in the family, and she's up in northern Massachusetts. So she asked me to do this with David. But anyway, if you have any questions about it, it's basically meant for people who come into the building occasionally, who have a real need to get around instead of with those walkers to get where they want to go. And that's what we're donating it for. And like Dave said, it was one of our residents in town didn't want to make a acknowledge to him, but it's going to come in very handy, I'm sure. If you have any questions about it, I'd be glad to answer it.
Any questions from the board? If not, thank you very much again, Mr. Larry Gaines, for your contribution.
You need to vote on this tonight to
Yes.
accept it? Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to accept the Sonic Mini Scooter for the purpose of being used at the Council on Aging, donated by the Friends of Wareham's Elderly and an anonymous donor.
Motion made.
Second.
And second. Any questions? If none,
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I have a question. Do Do the residents sign off on any kind of liability waiver, Larry, before they sit in the chair and drive
I would
off?
think you'd have to work that through Susan. I really don't know how she's going to handle it. I know that she will have a registration, probably a pre-registration. Somebody coming into the building has to use it. I would imagine that's what should be done.
Okay.
That's definitely.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not,
No, Mr. Chair, but I just want to thank the anonymous donor that brought the scooter to the Council on Aging, because they're very expensive pieces of equipment.
thank you. Now, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0-0. Thank you very much again.
I have one more little thing. Friday night, we have a swing dance at the Elks Club after the fish fry. It's only $5. There hasn't been a swing night held in town for a while, and we thought it would be fun for us older people who remember the era. And we invite anybody who is interested to come, and the $5, of course, helps the seniors in town for us to accomplish some other needs that they have. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you. Citizen participation?
Two more? Uh-oh, watch out behind you. Watch out.
Don't run
Wait a minute.
anyone
Watch
over.
out, Larry.
No speeding.
Hi, Steve Sui, 11 D'Angelo Road, and I am the president of the Buzzards Bay Area Habitat for Humanity. We were here a couple of weeks ago in regard to 2 Beach Street extension, and we weren't on the agenda tonight, but I just wanted to give a very brief update to the board to let you know that the attorneys are making forward progress. Mr. LaCava's attorney has been talking to Attorney Witten, and we hope to have this all wrapped up. So if we can be on the agenda for the next meeting, we hope to have everything settled by then in a positive way.
Well, you're heading in the right direction. If the attorneys are working on it, when we hear
Finally
back from
talking.
them, hear back from them, we'll have you all straight away.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say thanks for taking the time to listen to us last week, or 2 weeks ago, and also to report that I have talked with my attorney directly, and he has submitted some additional paperwork to Attorney Witten that he seems to be cooperating, and they seem to be on the same page, which is a sign in the right direction. And I believe they'll be contacting you, Mr. Andrews, and regular town council to see if everything is in the right order. The state has approved it, and President of Habitat and Habitat has approved it, so they will be looking for some feedback over the next couple of weeks, and that's why it's important that if we can get on the agenda. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
If there aren't any more, we're going to close the citizen participation, and we'll go right into, I think, the Westfield. I just want to be clarify on that to make sure if Mr. Haney cleared up anything on the Westfield, or do any members of the board have any questions or answers?
Mr. Chairman, if I could, there's a handout that Derek Sullivan's going to hand out to each of the board members, and it runs down the process by which I asked Susan Green of my staff to run through a scenario that would provide the board with an update. We have registered put on the central register through the Secretary of State's office, the RFP. We have development kits going out to a number of developers. I'm open to any suggestions the board might have or the general public. So we want to advertise this as broadly and widely as we can. As Mr. Haney stated, and I agree, we are on a very tight timeline, but by the same standard, we want to make certain that we get as much information out as possible, advertising and posting as we will have happen, and as you can see, there's a succession of site visits and the bidders conference coming up for August 10th. So we're on a very aggressive timeline to get proposals back to the town for September 9th. And with that, I once again just wanted to make sure that you had this as a form of an update from the town administrator's office and Susan Green's work. I want to thank Susan for her hard work in getting this done, and I want to thank Mr. Haney and the committee for clarifying some of the items that were in the proposal that we got rectified. And once again, we're on the timeline that we pretty much had set, notwithstanding the Labor Day holiday, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions from the board? If
I
not,
think the
Mr.
big
Clerk?
thing was just to make sure that we extended we got this out, and it'll go out, it'll be in the register Tuesday, right? Or Tuesday or Wednesday, and we wanted to make sure that we extended there.
I don't think you're talking loud enough into the mic.
Oh, no, I just want to say that there were just the two issues to make sure that was complete and that we had extended the term of the members. That's all I had for tonight.
Okay, with that, we'll go right into consent agendas.
Mr. Chairman, we do have a bill for CDM. Is Mr. Gifford here?
Mr. Chairman.
Guy Ping, are you going to explain it?
Mr. Gifford could not be here this evening. I anticipated that he would be, but he could not be, so...
All right. This is for partial payment 12. Let me just go right to the...
Second sheet.
All the backup is here in the detail that we had asked for. This is on contract 2 for work period from May 1st, 2011 to May 31st, 2011. And this is on loan number CWSR 3022. Contract 2. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. And the balance due on this estimate lost my place here. That's the right number? Right here. So you have a couple of different numbers. Right, so the balance due on this estimate is $298,697.33. And this is for contract 2 through the period of 5/31, and this is estimate number 12.
Motion made.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions, discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0-0.
I have a set of minutes here from June 14th, 2011. I make a motion to approve the minutes of June 14th, 2011.
Motion made.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0-0.
Okay, do we have a representative from the Dick Maloney Foundation? No? Mr. Chairman, fellow board members, the Dick Maloney Foundation is having their annual bike ride on Sunday, September 18th. I'd make a motion the Dick Maloney Youth Foundation, care of Richard Maloney, 7 Cooper Way, for the use of town roads to hold a bicycle run on Sunday, September 18th, 2011. This bike run is... off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember how many miles it is, but they leave typically from the Onset Pier, and they go off towards Buzzards Bay. They go down around Plymouth, They come all the way back around, and they come all the way back up Onset Avenue and back into the Onset Pier.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any questions? Board? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 500.
Next, we have a request for use of town roads by Robert Francis, 22 Longwood Avenue, for their annual summer and get-together on Sunday, September 4th, from 4 to 9 p.m.
Is anybody here for that?
Is Robert Francis in the house? Or anybody from Longwood Avenue? If not, was that a motion made, clerk?
Yes, the check's been paid. This is the Shell Point get-together, Longwood Ave and West Central. I make a motion to approve permission for Robert Francis, 22, to close off a portion of 7th Street between Central and Long Ave for an annual summer event from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. It is understood, however, and agreed that the town will be held harmless from all liability as to damage, property injury, or others. And there are certain conditions on this that no alcoholic beverages will to be served or consumed on the town street. Actions on the street will be in compliance with all town bylaws relative to noise as well. Permit is effective on December 4th and expires on the 5th, but the request is from 4 to 9 p.m.
Second for discussion.
Motion made, motion second. Any other questions?
I seconded it for discussion. I did get a couple emails from concerned citizens about the consuming of alcoholic beverages on the streets, and I know that the police department said that they didn't require an officer, but I just want to make sure that we're very clear that there is not to be any consumption of alcohol on the street.
Through you, Mr. Chair, the permit lists that specifically as conditions of approval of the permit.
Okay, I just want to emphasize that because I know that there are some people who are a little bit concerned about that. So,
Right, it is noticed on the permit as stated by the clerk. Any other questions? If not, all in favor?
aye.
All opposed? 500.
Next, we have the Bay Point representatives. Digital.
Bay Point. Yes.
Yes.
For Bay Point.
I'm sorry. For the one-day license. Yes, sir. If you would just state your name into
Certainly.
the mic for the record.
Yep. My name is Bill Fuller, and I own the Bartending Service of New England. My company was hired by the Digital Federal Credit Union to help out with the events that have been scheduled since the foreclosure of the property. I got brought into this about 2 weeks ago, and we're starting the process of meeting all the people that have had events scheduled there prior. And as my understanding, tonight I'm making application for 2 beer and wine licenses for July the 30th and August the 1st were submitted. And this is our first time here, so I wanted to make sure I met all the protocol for this board to get everything that you needed in front of you in a proper amount of time.
July 30th is for the club championship,
That's correct.
and August 1st is for the girls'
Girls hockey fundraiser.
fundraiser.
Correct.
And that, now, do you also have August 27th on your list, or is that, are you putting that off to a future day?
Well, I have a list of about 20 some odd different events that I'm in the process of contacting them all right now.
Right.
I was basically handed a list and a phone number.
Right.
So I'm kind of backtracking and figuring it out, and I was suggested that I submitted only these 2 applications for this hearing tonight.
Okay.
So we can get a better understanding of what is required, so we can get them in, whether it's one lump sum, and try to get 4 or 5 of them at a time. That was one of the questions I did ask.
Because we have 5
yes
tonight on this
Well,
list.
there's kind of a 2-part question, because my company was also hired to help the individuals who are here to request one-day all alcohol licenses. So I'm going to meet some of these people for the first time. In a few minutes, my company was hired to do that, so that's what I'm here for. I'm sure I'm going to meet some of them now.
Well, all
Mr.
these events, I got the August 1st and July 30th.
Correct.
That would be need to be done today to make that happen. And then you have August 6th. Our next meeting is not until August 9th.
The 9th.
correct?
Mr. Chair?
Is it the 8th or 9th, our next meeting?
The 9th. The 9th.
Right.
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Thank you. I understand the purpose behind the one-day liquor licenses and DCU's sort of hesitance to go with the seasonal license that's gone with the pavilion because some of these events go beyond the seasonal license, and we determined last year. But I do believe that 2 boards ago, there was an establishment in town that was using the one-day liquor licenses because they did not have a liquor license, and we ended up having, there was some type of issue with that. I mean, I don't have a problem with them, but I just want to make sure that this is the way that we can go and we can continue to do this for you, because I can't remember the name of the facility that had the problem, but I do remember there was an issue with it.
The Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes,
Through you.
Mr. Holmes.
The old law said that in terms of golf courses, it's very specific to golf courses, that you could get 30 one-day licenses a year. They just changed that law. We got that email about 2 weeks ago. Now they're up to like 245 per year, specifically for golf courses and outings and things like that. I can understand where digital is coming from. I think they're before us on the 8th or 9th for the full liquor license
No, but
on
that's
the clubhouse property.
yeah. I'm not sure
It's
why.
two
I'm,
separate properties.
Correct.
Mr. Holmes has the floor.
Do you want me to stop?
No.
Oh, I was just trying to explain.
I want you to finish
Okay.
before we interrupt.
And I think what they're doing, and they're in the process of trying to sell the golf course to somebody else. So they are coming before us, I believe, on the 9th, 8th, 9th, for the full liquor license down in the lower property. And for liability reasons and everything else, it only makes sense to do one-day licenses on top until they get their new owners. Is
Correct.
that?
That's correct.
That's my understanding
Yes,
of why.
that's what I've been told as well, and I will be back here on the 9th as well for the
For the full
clubhouse
liquor
license as the
license,
manager for digital as well.
and
Mrs.
I just
Winslow?
I just wanted to make sure there. I don't know why I'm not getting some of these emails. I did not get that email, but I appreciate that you recall that because
Yeah, it came
I
from,
did.
It was from
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
the office.
I'm missing several, but anyways, that's besides the point. I just wanted to make sure that because this was how they were going to be doing things, that we weren't going to run into trouble later with some of the events that were scheduled later on down the road, and that we were going to be okay.
We're going to be fine.
If I could
Good.
speak to that, I think we're probably at best going to have 15 to 18 that are going to actually follow through. Some of the folks that I've spoken with early have made other arrangements once they heard that there was a problem at Bay Point. So they've gone other places, some of the people I've reached out to. So the best I can do right now is go through this list and try to get people who are still committed and have made their arrangements, predominantly the wedding receptions and the golf outings, because people already have plans that are laid in stone. So I'm just trying to follow through with that. I can't anticipate more than 15 to 18. It takes us, I believe, into the first week of November. And then as far as I know, that's all they're having. That's all I've been told from the critic. That's all they're going. They're not taking any more bookings at this time.
No, and I understand that. I just didn't want to end up in a situation where down the road we had a problem trying to issue those.
Sure.
I just wanted to make sure that I understood and that it's obviously different from a regular function facility, which is fine by me.
Right.
You know, I mean, unfortunately, I can't be an expert in everything, so.
No, that's fine.
Mr. Holmes?
Well, at this point, I would make a motion that we approve under Chapter 138 of the Mass General Law a one-day wine and malt beverage license permit to bartender services in New England to provide service for the girls hockey fundraiser to be held August 1st at the Pavilion at Bay Point, 10 Point Drive, onset from 3:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Second.
Motion made in second. Are there any questions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 500.
Mr. Chairman, at this time I would make a motion to grant an application for a one-day wine and malt beverage license under Chapter 138 to bartending services in New England, 13 West End Avenue, Middleborough, Mass. for golf tournament club championship to be held on July 30th, 2011 at the Pavilion at Bay Point Country Club, 10 Point Drive, Onset, Mass. from 3:30 to 9 p.m.
Second.
Motion made in second. Are there any questions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 500.
Under the provisions of Chapter 138 of Mass General Law, I would move that we approve the application for a one-day all-alcohol license permit by Karen E. Colwell of 16 Haskell Ridge Road for a reunion to be held at Bay Point Country Club on August 6th, 2011 from 5:30 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. under the provisions of Chapter 138 Mass General Law.
Second.
Motion made in second. Is Karen Colwell here?
No, she's not. She asked that I would be here.
Okay, good.
May I ask a question about that particular
Yeah,
permit?
okay,
Because
motion made in second.
Right, for discussion. Ms. Caldwell has, she's the person named on the permit, but I don't see any mention here about the bartending service of New England.
I think she should have me, if you look
I
under...
think it's on the top.
Yeah.
It starts on the top and then it breaks it down. See D1.
No, I'm saying the piece of paper that I have that's the
Oh.
actual permit doesn't have your corporation at all on it, just this person.
Mr. Chair, I think when DCU was here last week and they were discussing some of these events that were coming up, especially the weddings. I know this is the reunion.
I think the cover letter on here has William Fuller.
Correct.
Name of person in charge of the event.
Right.
Not on mine.
On the first one that we just voted on, if you look at the cover sheet,
Oh.
it has the one for
Oh, yeah, it does.
the hockey, and he just said that he's
Karen Cole.
going to do the other one also.
Correct.
Right.
So do we have to change the motion?
Name of person in charge of the event is Mr. William Fuller. Right.
Does the permit have to be resubmitted? Is my question.
Permit's
That's
going
just
to be
my
in your
question.
name, Mr. Fuller?
No, the permit, because they're asking for a full alcohol license, is Karen Caldwell. She's hired our company. I'm going to be the manager of the event. She's hired our company to be the bartenders in charge of the event.
Okay, I understand that. My question was, did your service have to be on the permit as well, or just...
I believe one of the questions I have on my applications for the beer and wine, I believe they're similar, that the name of the person in charge at the event is where my company would be named. That's William Fuller. When we did this for the first time at the office, I believe her name was Shirley Oldfield, we went through the procedure so I could make sure I left the correct pile for those people looking for all alcohol licenses versus the ones that I'm making an application for.
Well, that's going to be, that means that all the permits that we have here need to be, we can vote on them tonight, but they're going to have to be redone by the office for us to vote on, because she is not the person in charge of, she may be the person in charge of the event, but she's not the responsible party for the liquor, the beer, and the wine.
Right.
So on the actual permit, it needs to be Mr. Fuller and his company
As manager, correct.
as the
Correct.
manager.
Correct.
So we have 3 here that's not the case,
Right.
I believe.
But I think that we're going to have to just change the permits. But that would be an honest error, because when DCU was here before us 2 weeks ago, we weren't really sure. They weren't sure if they were going to be hiring a company or if they were just going to allow individuals to hire a company, or how this was going to happen. And some of these folks had to get these permits in for tonight's meeting in order to hold their events. So I think as long as we reissue the permit, and we have to obviously go sign them, Mr. Fuller will have to pick them up. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
But
If you would withdraw your second,
I withdraw my second.
I would draw my motion to make a motion that the permit be approved, subject to the names being correct on the permit.
Second. The names, just to clarify for the record, the responsible party on the permit should be Mr. William Fuller of
It should have
the Bartending Service of New England, LLC.
Correct.
For an event to be held August 6, 2011, from 5:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. at Bay Point Country Club, the Wareham High School 25th Reunion.
I think the motion made and second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 500.
Okay, next one is Yvonne Cardoza. It's the same issue here. This is not until 8/27.
Mrs. Cardozo, you want to step forward?
Poor thing.
I think we're going to do the same as we did with the last one.
I'd make a motion to approve the one-day all-alcoholic license, subject to the correct names being on the permit, to include Al.
Mr. Clerk?
All-alcoholic.
You have to read the whole thing. On
I
here.
understand. I'm trying to find the guy's name here.
Right here.
Bartending Service of New England.
Correct.
Right? So I would make a motion that we approve for a one-day all-alcoholic beverage license permit to Bartending Services in New England, LLC, 13 West End Avenue, Marlborough, Massachusetts, for
I'm
a
gonna-
wedding to be held at Bay Point Country Club on August 27th, 2011, from 5 p.m. to 12 p.m. under the provisions of Chapter 138, Mass General Law.
Motion made,
A second for discussion.
second for discussion.
We need to have Mrs. Cardoza to change the name of the person in charge at the event, because currently it says Bay Point and it's not on your application. So
What?
That was the
Oh,
motion
yep.
I just made, right?
Yeah, I think the motion was made to be correct.
I can't hear you down here because of the air conditioner. So
So the name on it will be the bartending service, and the name of the person will be Mr. William Fuller.
Correct.
Right.
Vote. Vote.
All in
Vote.
favor?
Vote.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 500.
And the same with Mr.
Thank you.
Kluber.
Mr. Charles.
Thank you. Good
Charles
luck on the
Kluber.
wedding.
Come on, Charlie, it's all set.
You have to go through the same thing, so.
I make a motion that we approve a one-day all-alcoholic license permit to Bartending Service of New England, LLC, 13 West End Avenue, Middleborough, Massachusetts, 02346, for a wedding to be held at Bay Point Country Club on August the 20th, 2011, from 3 p.m. to 12 p.m. midnight, under the provisions of Mass Chapter 138 of Mass General Law, and further ensure that the name of the person in charge of the event is Bartending Services in New England, William Fuller.
Motion made,
second.
motion second. Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 500.
Have a great time at the wedding.
Thank you, and have a good time. Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
very much.
patience.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks, Bill?
Yes, may I ask one question before I take off?
Sure.
Exactly, I'm anticipating 15 to 18 of these. Is there an unacceptable number to hear at one hearing? I'm trying to gather as much information from these people as fast as possible, so when I come down on the 9th, I can try to have as many of these things as possible.
You just need to make sure that you get it into the office before Thursday
It was the 4th was the cutoff date.
before Thursday afternoon at 7, so the chair can approve 5 so the chairman can approve the agenda.
Right, and what I will do is I will contact Shirley and go through exactly everything we covered tonight, so when the people come in, a lot of people came hurriedly on their own once they realized this is what they need to do, and so we'll get the applications at least uniform going forward for the 2 weeks.
Right, and the sooner the better, because in September and October, we will be busy, so.
Right, I get that.
So these permits need to be reissued with the correct information, and then they'll be in the office. We'll sign
Right,
them.
and somebody can call me and I'll come down and pick them up. Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Mrs. Cardoza?
On the August 27th event, it should be from 3 to 12.
That's what I believe I said. August, what was the?
27th.
Yeah, 3 p.m. to
So-
12.
To 12.
3
Right,
to 12?
Right.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is written down
that's
here.
not what it says.
It
Oh, it
says
says
5.
from 5 to 12.
5 to 12, it says 5 to 12 on the permit.
Okay, on this one, it says 3 to...
Application, on the actual application, it does say 5 to midnight.
Okay, it should be 3.
You need to make sure it's 3.
3
Oh,
p.m.
it does
to
say
midnight.
3. No, that's
No, on the actual permit.
Okay.
Yeah, on the agenda it says 5 also.
You're on the-
See, Steve, it says 5.
Okay, we will change it.
I
We will have it changed.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. We have to amend the motion
Yep.
on that?
You have to redo the whole motion.
I withdraw my second.
All right.
You already-
I would make a motion that we approve an application for a one-day all alcoholic beverages license to Bartending Service in New England, LLC, 13 West End Avenue, Middleborough, Mass. 02346, for a wedding to be held on August the 27th at Bay Point Country Club, the Pavilion at Bay Point Country Club, from 3 p.m. until midnight, under the provisions of Chapter 138 Mass General Law.
Second.
Motion made in second. All in favor? Was there any questions?
Name of person in charge of the event, William Fuller.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 500.
Thank you very much. Good luck with the wedding. At least now you won't have to wait till 5. Mr. Chairman, you are now up to the Town Administrator's report.
Town Administrator?
Mr. Chairman, through you to the audience listening both here and at home, I want to give an update from a leadership standpoint, from personnel update. I have appointed Mr. Paul Wakeham, acting temporary local building inspector. As reported at a July 12th meeting, applications were due last week. I believe we received 26 applications for the building inspector's position, of which I have asked a review committee, including Selectman Steve Holmes, Elsa Miller, our Director of Assessment, and Mr. Miles Burke, Director of the Inspectional Services Division, to serve as the interview panel. I know they met today and worked very hard to prioritize those applications, and we'll be working over the next week's time to get 3 names to me for my review and selection. And I want to thank Selectman Holmes for his work on that. The second item, if I could, I know the Harbor Master was here. We have a donation from Don Duggan of Wareham Boatyard, located at Rose Point. Gary, if you can come forward. Hi, Jamie. Thank you for your patience. Maybe you can outline this for the board, and then I would urge that a motion be made to accept this donation. Okay, Gary?
Yes, good evening. I have 2 donations. We have the navigational lights This is going to add to our efforts with the Weweanick River. We did all the navigational aids down there. They've supplied us with 6 green flashing LED lights to add to some of the bends, which we have to deal with going through the channel down there. So we're going to look around at the markers and see which ones we want to place them on, and then this will go into the report with the Coast Guard so we can finish off the licensing process for all the markers down there. We installed about 19 markers in total. I'd like to request that the board accept this donation. This is from Don Duggan, which owns the Wareham Boatyard. He purchased 6 of these for an estimated value, I believe, of about $700. Wow. Yeah, they're very expensive. So,
Mr. Chairman, this time I'd make a motion that we accept the donation of the 7 marker lights.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any questions?
Just a comment.
Comment?
For anyone who has tried to navigate that section of the Weweanick, they know that it's, for anyone who's tried to navigate that section of the Weweanick, they know that it's chock full of rocks. And
yeah, we grow them there for
right.
other locations.
I've lost a few props. And Mr. Dugan has been a good neighbor, I think, to the boaters on the Weweanick, and I would just like to acknowledge his...
The boatyard has always tried to do what they can to make sure that channel was marked, and we just wanted to take that next step and make it a little easier. So, I mean, we have some bugs in it. We're still working out different areas, and one of our boats has a side scan sonar on it, so we're actually running the channel to identify different features of the bottom so we can adjust the markers accordingly. So we're really content with what we have set out there. And we're probably going to add to it, and this is part of, continuing efforts. So we're going to ID some other areas of town and still work on the Weweanick. These are expensive, so we're going to keep plugging away. May I go on to the second donation?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
We have a motion on the
We have to vote.
floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I have a signature on the right side.
They're all yours. They're all
Now you
yours.
may continue.
Thank you. The second donation was, we've been trying to find an avenue to get some money brought up for a beach wheelchair, and a wheelchair that's going to help some people with mobility issues, where we can help them get down onto the sand. They can go into the water with it. I had approached the Salernos and the Grigg family for some ideas, because they've had some firsthand knowledge with the issues. And they had a wheelchair that they had purchased to use on the beach, and they wanted to donate it to us. I have it out. I couldn't get it through the doorway because it's designed for exterior use, so I couldn't bring it in to show you. So if you'd like to see it, it's out in the hallway. But they would like to donate this beach wheelchair to the department. I leave it down at the lifeguard station. If people would like to use it, they just ask one of the lifeguards on duty, or they can come to our office, and we can take it out and provide them with the chair. It's a chair that has to be pushed. It's not like a regular self-operating wheelchair. You need some assistance with it. So we have our guards and some of our assistants that can help out. I think it's an unbelievable donation. I think it really helps out on our efforts to try and make our beaches a little more accessible for people. So I'd like to get some more.
Mr. Chairman,
works out.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the wheelchair for the beach and the harbor master.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any questions?
No, but I just want to say, for those of you that didn't see it, I just saw it on my trip to the ladies' room, and boy, that is one great chair. It even has an umbrella on.
Yeah.
So, to keep the sun from, and it's got those nice all-terrain wheels on it, so that is really a generous gift.
Extremely. It's just under $2,000 for a chair like that.
Yeah.
When we were doing the research for it, they're extremely expensive, but to have them on hand is it's huge. So.
That's really going to make the beach accessible to people who it's not today. So thank you very much to both families that contributed to that.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just to follow that up, 2 more elements of Safe Summer 2011 to get individuals that need that transportation on the beach, and also the lighting, which will go a long way, and as Selectman Schneider said, the navigation of some very tricky waterways. So I want to thank you for your hard work on this, Gary.
Thank you very much.
Jamie as well.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 500. And Gary, Jamie, thank you for all your hard work you're doing and
Thank you very much.
insight. Thank you.
Good
Now,
night.
can I just ask them a question, Mr. Chair? How come he's tan and he's not? Shouldn't he be
Only
the
to a certain
office one?
level.
I think Jamie uses
Where?
more sunblock. There's more sunblock.
We've got the worker tan.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I'd also make a motion to request that Mr. Andrews, we've received 3 or 4 donations tonight, that he could put together a letter that the Board of Selectmen could sign next week as a thank you note to these folks and send it out.
Second.
So said, so done.
Already wrote it down. Thank you, Selectman Holmes. Appreciate it. Mr. Chairman, on item number 3, if I could continue, we had quite a sweltering end of the week last week, and I wanted to update the board on Thursday afternoon. I worked very hard with a group of people that I want to recognize, municipal maintenance. I see Mr. Frank Bergamasco and Glenn is here tonight to make certain that we had so-called cool centers set up. And what we did was we made not only the multi-service center available to individuals that had either their air conditioning faltering or have some issues with regards to the weather. I work with Superintendent Barry Rabinovich on opening up the middle school. So from Thursday late afternoon to Friday morning, we had in place a safety net, if you will, for something called cool centers. Also called up Mr. Frank Gay from the GATRA, Regional Transportation Authority, and they provided free transportation to any individual that needed transportation to the centers. We extended this so-called cool centers into Saturday morning, and as the weather broke, we basically found that a little bit of the sea breeze helped us. We were able to get a safety net up there. I think it demonstrates a number of things, including our preparedness, ability to get a program up and running within a short period of time. Once again, I want to thank municipal maintenance. I want to thank the superintendent, and I also want to thank the health department and the emergency medical services area. If I could move on to the item number B, South Coast Hospital Patient Financial Services Department coordinated with the town on July 14, 2011. South Coast held a patient financial services seminar for individuals who have lost or somehow found that they had their health plans curtailed. We also held the same thing today between the hours of 11 and 4 p.m. in the cafeteria of Town Hall. That included the following agencies: South Coast Hospital's Patient Financial Services, BMC Health Net, MS Society, Healthy Families, South Shore Women's Resource Center, Women's Infants and Children's Program, Wareham Boys and Girls Club, Work Inc., and Southeast Center for Independent Living and Network Health. So I want to thank the Wareham Collaborative for this fine effort in bringing this valuable program to the town of Wareham. Item number C, I wanted to update the board with the new federal census in place. I have charged Mr. Peter Sanborn, who is running our Cedar area, as well as Mr. John Charbonneau, our town planner, to coordinate and update valuable statistics that are needed with regards to local demographics, household income, workforce, labor market, employment data that we can have in the form of a CD, also posted on our website. The ultimate goal would be to get to a DVD to get out to businesses, like we heard earlier this evening, valuable information on the town, and stressing obviously the valuable assets that we have, and I will keep the board posted on this. Item number D, I wanted to update the board. We have had a number of individuals come forward and volunteer their time and effort with regards to what I call Wareham's Bright Side, which is an effort now to beautify and to clean and to continue to work in a coordinated fashion, particularly with respect to the municipal maintenance department. As you know, we have sheriff's workers working with us, neighborhood organizations, student volunteers, and on Wednesday, July 20th, I met with Mrs. Linda Gay and Lorraine McDonald of the Onset Bay Association. I know Selectwoman Begley previously had this title, but we're looking to develop a program where we can get and stay ahead of the beautification of the town, make certain that we can promote within a week's preparedness all of the events that we have in town. And so that is a level of coordination that we're looking to attain. I will keep the board posted on the progress of this matter. On the status report on ongoing projects, we are still working. I checked with Dave Bichette of our Conservation Department with the donation, possibly, once again, 0.76 acres of land to the town. We are waiting for some environmental surveys to come back to the Conservation Office. As you know, the fiscal 2012 budget has been signed. I sent the cherry sheet, so-called, to each of the board members, as well as the Finance Committee. The Governor signed the fiscal 2012 state budget into law as Chapter 68 of the Acts of 2011, and I'm happy to say that all of our estimates came in on target, or a little bit above, as they related to the state budget. DECA safety issues, just wanted to report that painting of the crosswalks were completed in June, and we are working on additional signalization. I'll keep the board updated on that, as well as continued cooperation and update with the school committee. I think it's important, particularly as it related to the effort that we had for our cooling center this past week, and that is the town administrator's report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions from the board? Steve? If not, we'll go right along with the agenda. Any other town business? Anything need to be brought up?
Did you deal with this parking sign?
Yes. Any other town business? Sewer business? We have anything on sewer? Liaison reports?
I just have a question, Chairman Cruz, about the Board of Health asked me at their last meeting when the board was going to vote on the associate members. It wasn't on this agenda, but I asked that we put it on the next agenda, if that's possible.
I jump on a sword and a chainsaw, Mr. Chairman. When Janet sent me not only the Board of Health, and for those who have called my house and sent me nasty text messages, there are 2 appointments to the Board of Health. We have the Cedar appointment, and there's 1 appointment to the
Is it Minot Forest?
Conservation Committee, I think. And so Janet has sent me the email. As you know, we had delayed it a couple of weeks for different reasons, and I just said okay. I thought I screwed up, and I thought it was for tonight, and the date is for the next meeting. So that's what she did. She did exactly what she was told to do, and I take the blame for that. So all our remaining appointments will be on the... Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And then we'll get back on the regular schedule of the 3rd Tuesdays for interviews. The only exception might be, I forget off the top of my head what dates we have for the parking commissioners, road commissioners. We did set that.
Yeah,
That's
I think
coming
we
to
did
a
set
close.
it.
Yeah.
I know we have it on
That
here.
might be
We'll
on
have
an
to look
off
that
night.
up.
That might
But
be on an off 3rd night, but
Right, it is.
that'd be the only exception.
May I ask one more question?
Yes.
Because, I mean, admittedly, this has been a very confusing process. Did we appoint to the Minot Forest? I'm not sure that we did. We could have. Sandy Devlin. But did we actually appointed? Okay, just wanted to be
Now
sure.
that you mentioned her name.
Okay, I just want to be sure.
Yeah, we can check it. We can
and
check
just-
it with the minutes to make sure.
Okay, just to let folks know that the Board of Health is still working on their nitrogen-reducing regulations, and they will soon be posting for public hearings, and there'll be 2-week notices in the newspaper for these public hearings, and I believe that's it.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman? Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Steve, I thought you were done.
I really have one that's kind of important, and
I think we get
I'll be as quick as I
3
can.
minutes.
What I want to talk about CETA for 1.5 minutes. We have an acting director of CEDAR whose term is his original contract is about to expire. Mr. Andrews, through you, Mr. Chairman. It's in August, Mark, or September 1. We're getting down to the end of this.
Check it, Mr.
All right.
Chairman.
Two requests. One, if we could start to prepare a posting for that permanent replacement.
Sure.
And if we could get a copy in our mail of Peter's existing contract right before we renew it, because I think two of the key points will be one, that as we start the search for the new director, that we keep Peter long enough to guide that new director orientation kind of period, to make sure we have something in there that says when we hire the new person, Peter, you stay with us. And my second concern came up at the last meeting was you and I said the words capacity a million times when we hired the guy. And I was a bit disappointed at Mr. Sanborn's answer that it would be another 6 months before we had the capacity report. That was part of the original contract, I believe, Mark. So if we could get a look at that for next week and kick it around, or send it to us so we can...
I'll get it out to
so
the
we can
board.
look at it before we
Sure.
renew that.
Sure.
Make sure we get that capacity report.
Mr.
That's
Chair?
all, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, through you to Mr. Holmes, it was my understanding with the CEDAR director that the board, still hires the CEDAR director.
Well, through you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Andrews would do the posting of the position for us.
Okay, but we didn't delegate that responsibility
No.
away. Okay, just wanted
No,
to...
I'm just saying that I'd
It's
like
hard
to
to
see
hear
the-
you down here, so I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Basically, I was just asking for a couple things that Mr.
Thank you.
Andrews get us the contract so we can look at it and review it, make sure we've hit all our targets, and then get ready to extend Peter and get ready to post for the new permanent position.
Okay, thank you.
Now, Mr. Snyder.
I have two
There
quick...
was a motion to adjourn on the floor.
But it wasn't seconded. I have two quick things. The Board of Library Trustees is looking for applicants. They currently have, I believe it's 3 vacancies, so they're at risk of having quorum problems. So if there's anybody out there who's interested, it's a very important position to be a library trustee. We did just have one trustee move over to the Finance Committee, one whose term expired and they chose not to renew, and I forget what happened to the third one, but it would be really nice to get some applications in so we can get some people appointed and continue that important work. The second thing is the Capital Planning Committee, and I do believe that Mr. Sullivan has a list of information, is waiting from the town administrator. So I'm not sure if you put that yet in any type of written form. I tried to write it up but realized that my notes were not that great. But they are meeting again, I think it's this Thursday, right? Last week of July. So hopefully, I keep thinking it's August already. Hopefully that they'll have answers to those some of the outstanding things that are sort of hanging out there in limbo. So I just wanted...
Mr. Chairman, if I could just update the board, and it's a very good point. We do have a point-by-point listing that Mr. Sullivan and I will get to the Capital Planning Committee. I just want to make it abundantly clear, and I met with Chairman David Trudell this morning to talk about some of the items before capital planning. I just want everybody to understand the difficult issues that we faced with respect to Madison Town Accountant's Office and the year-end audit, and that we are pacing ourselves based on what I know to be information relative to capital projects and making certain that we have the projects nailed down. You make good points, Member Winslow, and what we'll do is we'll get not only that out to the Capital Planning Committee, but we'll get it out to the entire board as an update over the next day and a half. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, and now I'll second Mr. Schneider's motion to adjourn.
Motion made. Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0-0. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.